All right, here we go. The Relentless Game, turn life's chaos into power. So today we're going to talk about a hot topic right now on the interwebs is there was this astronomer CEO. And so when I thought astronomer, I thought it was like NASA or something like, but it's like, this is like, it's a software company or
Okay.
something. But the CEO was at a Coldplay concert, and you know those kiss cams.
Mm-hmm.
Coldplay was doing a kiss cam, and the astronomer CEO. Now this guy this is a million. He's got millions of eyes on him. This is a company that's huge, and he was there with this HR girl, and he had his arms, and she's married, and he's married, not together. And he has his arms around her, and they're listening to Coldplay. And then the kiss cam goes on them, and the CEO like ducks out and gets out of the camera real quick, and she turns her head and puts her head down and hides and stuff. And so it was a big thing because Coldplay was like, Chris Martin, Coldplay's lead singer, was like, oh, they must have either be having an affair or they're just really shy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that they were having an affair, and they were at that concert. And he puts out a statement, and he did great. The first paragraph of the statement was just like, I messed up. Need to take time to go back and look over my situation and where I can get better, where I can improve. But then he ends it with, I really hate that a private moment can be put out in the public like this and making us a spectacle, basically. So there's no ownership. That's the first, as we talk about this, that's the first problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing something, and if you're doing something in public or in private that you don't want to be done in public, then it says it in the Bible that anything that you're doing in private, it'll be shouted from the rooftops in public. And so it's one of those things where if you're doing it and it's something that you know that you don't need to do, and I think this is what a lot of guys struggle with, and this guy struggled with just taking responsibility. His ability to respond is the definition of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And so this gentleman like decided to go the opposite direction and not take any kind of responsibility, where now, you know, he's out there, and it's one of those things where when you are doing something in private and thinking that it's not ever going to go public, that's the first piece of it. Is like, instead of, and that's what we try to do with our guys is like, identify the parts of you that you know aren't
Serving you
anymore, that are ways of this world, and then start slowly killing those versions off. And so if we're not doing that, here's different ways that it can impact you. Is you can't speak boldly on things and with integrity on certain topics because of what you're doing behind closed doors, because you know that you know what you're doing. And so like boldly, you can't say the things that you need to say because you know that behind closed doors, and you can, but that's what a hypocrite is. And I that's what I see with, I mean, that was a big turning point in my leadership, was identifying myself as a hypocrite and just not sitting right with me. I always use the example of my son eating the brownies and me walking in and telling him athletes don't eat this way, and then him turning and leaving with his couple of brownies, but I'm piling and putting the brownies down my pie hole. And I just, after I got done with it, I sat with it for a week or two. I'm just like, this is not the man and the leader that I want to be. And so I think that's the first piece of it, is just understanding that anything that you're hiding and you're not shining a light on, that it's going to eventually come out. And when it does, you're going to have to pay the price of the shame and the guilt. And that's where that guy was coming from, was he was replying with that apology from a place of shame instead of being from a place of truth.
Yep. And that's the problem with this. The way that he responded is that's what's going to keep him stuck in the same position, and not only just stuck, but it's going to snowball into more and more defeating things happening into his life. Because if he would have responded differently and just took accountability and start, okay, I was caught, what I was doing in the dark. Now, like, what I need to do is just humbly, own it, humbly try to change those things. But him deflecting and shielding off all those things is what's going to make him continue to have a lot of things that aren't going to be serving him continue to happen. It's just like a snowball effect, all because he didn't take ownership. But that's a decision you got to make. If there's something that you're doing in the dark and you know you need to change it, take accountability and just own up to it. And that's the only way that you can rise above what you're in. But the more that you keep deflecting it and lying to yourself and justifying why you're doing what you're doing, that's what's going to keep you in the same exact position, and if not even worse. This is going to compile even worse, because now we see who he is in his character, and now a lot of people are going to continue to hate on him.
Well, a lot of people, it's like, so now he's got his wife. I'm sure he has kids. This guy was in his probably his 50s. I'm sure he has kids. So now he's got like all these other messes to clean up. Here's the thing, man. If you're in a relationship that you don't want to be in anymore, it serves you more just to be direct and honest about and address the situation, address the relationship that you're in, instead of starting to go out and here's how I've always stayed faithful with my wife. I've always thought about, if I ever walked in and I found my wife with another man, what would I do?
How would you feel?
How would I react? Like, dude, I like, there's like, I don't want to like admit this, but it's like, it would, like, the rage that I would probably have and like the wanting to like get revenge immediately on both of them, it would be like on another level. And so like, I think about that side of it, and I think like, man, I don't want my wife to ever have to, like, the hurt that I would feel, the all that. I wouldn't ever want her to experience that. And so like, I would be like, oh, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to experience that.
Yeah.
That's how I've always like thought about, like, with relationship wise, as far as marriage wise, is like, I'm going to be faithful. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do because I want that same type of relationship to come back to me as far as that goes.
Yeah, well, the wisest people, I think that's how the smartest people operate. You think about the outcome of the way that you're going to react. And so like with that, like, okay, if I were to walk in on that, this is how I would react and respond to that. So you're not even going to put yourself in that position and do that same thing to your wife. And so I think that's what the smartest people do, is they think about, and you could even relate that to nutrition. Like, we know, okay, if I eat this is how I'm going to feel. And then this is how it's going to affect me for the rest of the day. So I choose not to eat that, even though in the moment it sounds really good. But I'm looking ahead of what are the repercussions of me doing that. And then you start to look ahead, and that makes you take another avenue and make another decision that you actually see, wow, this serves me a lot more. And then that makes you want to even pour into that side of things even more.
I think identity wise too, like, it makes me want to look at that see, and I don't want to pour onto him and stuff, but it makes me want to like look at his behind the scenes of like, where else is he choosing the easy route? Where else is he cutting corners? Where else is he cheating?
Yeah.
Where else is he being deceitful? And it starts to, like, with everything, I start to go like, okay, well, if he's doing it here, then he's probably doing it here.
Yeah.
He's probably doing it here.
How you do one thing is how you do everything, right?
Yeah. And so like, let's run through like the possibility is like of just starting to own it and just saying like, hey, this is the problem, and this is where I messed up, and this is the ownership and the responsibility that I'm going to take for it. And then now start taking the next steps forward. But when we push things off and we say like, oh, well, I wish this wouldn't have been, like, bro, you were in a public arena
Mm-hmm.
watching, where people, probably thousands of people are there watching. Now millions of people are watching you
Yeah.
on social media and stuff. It's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Then, and you have to know that that's going to be the outcome of it. But on the other side of it is like, by you just owning it and just saying like, here, boom, now it's just like with repenting, like, hey, I did this and I shouldn't have, and knowing, and then now you can start making the better decisions. The cool thing is now it's just the next decision. The next step is like, okay, this decision that's in front of me, I want to make. I always look at like a scoreboard. The decision I'm about to make is either going to add a point to my scoreboard, or it's going to add a point to my opponent's scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
And when I start to look at that, it's like, well, I want to be up 100-0.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So like that possibility is just starting to, right where you are, of just wash it yourself of it. Hey, this is what I did. This is where I'm going to take the next step, and I'm going to get better at it. What would you say would be a principle for life to get us from that pit of being of lying and being deceitful, and cheating, to becoming the man who learns from it and 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 pivots and makes a change, and makes a bigger impact of the man he starts to become, and he starts becoming more of the man he wants to be because of this situation? What would be the life lesson or principle that you would simplify it as like, this is the lesson that we need to learn from it?
Yeah, drop your ego and drop your pride. And that's the thing with that guy, is he's so prideful. You saw the way that his message was, and then the way that he ended it. He tried to kill off some of that. I'm assuming he might have. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But then he left it with, there's still that ego, there's still that pride in there. If he would have fully just surrender to it, and just know that, hey, like, I was caught, I was wrong, and if I can just, and the way that we do it every single day is we just get in the Word. We get into the Word, and that's how we humbly just come at the Lord's feet, and He's going to humble us with His Word, because He's going to start to show us all the areas and the things that we're doing in life that aren't serving us, and He's going to make it clear, hey, this is the path that you need to take. And so with that guy, and with a lot of men and us as well, is we just got to put our ego to the side and kill that version off, and just and take accountability for where we currently are, and look in the mirror. And if that's the man that you don't like that you're looking at, then that you got to kill that version off.
The next thing starts to happen is like I was saying before, is just the next step is the next decision I need to make that starts to become the man that I'm trying to become. What kind of decision is he making here?
Mm-hmm.
The man that I'm trying to become, what decision is he going to make on this one? And now we start to make decisions based off the man that we're aiming and going after, instead of the opposite of, because like, if this is happening, it's been happening for a while.
Yeah.
And he's been knowing it was happening. And now you're just like, it's out there, and now you can shift and pivot and learn from it and go from there. And so, and that's ultimately with anything that we do, and inside the Guerrilla Alliance, and that's what, with the new program that I'm launching, is like that built different is you don't come from a place of shame and fear with this. You own it with truth, because now with truth, now you shine a light on it. And now you can start to see the next steps that you need to take. You can start to see the next versions of yourself that you need to start killing off, that don't serve you anymore. And you start to become aware of it. And then the awareness can start to turn into and proceeds change. And now you can start to change it. But if you continue to know that deep down that you're not making decisions that you want to make, and it's not aligned with the man that you're trying to become, then ultimately you're not building the man. You're not built different. You're built like everybody else. And so like with the built different challenges, it's not only are we trying to build ourselves different from the outside, where we look different, where when we walk in, people look at us and go like, that dude's got discipline. I don't know what, I want to be around that dude. I want to listen to that dude. But also internally, we're being built different, because now we are identifying the versions of ourselves that we don't want to be, that we want, that are causing us shame, that are causing us doubt, that are causing us unworthiness. And we just start to slowly reveal the version of ourselves that God created us to be. And that's what's all about being built different. It's all about. So
not only that, and on the Built Different, you're learning something new every day. And that's where I think a lot of guys go wrong is they don't have that, especially, you know, if we're over 40, over 50, they don't have a willingness to learn anymore. They're just stuck in the things that they've, you know, learned back in the day. And then they keep themselves in this little box and they go, this is just the way that I believe. But if you have a willingness to learn on a daily basis, and I think that's what a lot of guys need to do, and that could be the principle, is just wake up every day trying to learn something new and trying to learn something new about yourself, and then that'll help you start to level up.
Well, like you were saying, in that challenge, that's one of the things I'm doing is that every day you get an audio that is challenging you to think differently, but every time as well, you're getting a prompt to be able to take it into a Discover stack or a Bible verse to take to the Bible stack, so you can start to reveal more of what you need to do, because that's what the stack does, is it makes you aware of the things that you need to do. And then the next step is, what's the action you're going to take that you're going to implement into your life. And so right now, the action I want you to take is, I want you to go to my bio and my whether it's Facebook or Instagram, seth.p.humphrey, and go into the bio and click that Built Different page. Watch the video, read it, see if it's something you're interested in. If it is, take action on it. August 5th, we kick off the first round, and I'd love to have you in it. If you sign up and you're an action taker and you sign up before that, you get free nutrition and fitness coaching leading up to, so we can get the momentum rolling. So as we walk into August 5th, you're already starting to become a different man, and already starting to be built different that way. So anything you want to finish with?
I think that's good. I'll go ahead and plug my Instagram. Yeah. My Instagram is boo_train6, and the fitness and the nutrition side of things that he talked about, that's where you can find me at and reach me there.
Yeah. So for Christian, Seth Humphrey, we always appreciate any kind of reviews or anything. Like, give us some feedback that way. And see you on the other side.
Turning like chaos in the power. This is a relentless game. I've been up grinding 10,000 hours. This is a relentless game. Always put my faith inside of God.